Today, we're diving into a case that is as completely baffling as it is tragic. Seriously, it's a story that starts with what seems like a simple family road trip and ends in a mystery so chilling it still haunts investigators to this very day. So, let's get into it. And that isn't an exaggeration at all. One minute, this family was just going about their lives, and the next, it's like they were just erased from the world. How does an entire family just vanish without a single trace? All right, so who are we talking about here? Let's meet the people at the heart of this. There was Bobby, his wife Sherilyn, and their sweet 6-year-old daughter Madison. They were just a seemingly ordinary family from Eufaula, Oklahoma, living a pretty quiet life, which of course makes what happened next all the more disturbing. So one day in October, they decide they want to check out a plot of land they were thinking about buying way out in the remote Samboys Mountains. They load up their truck, they head out, and that was the last time anyone would ever see them alive. After that day, all communication just stopped. Total silence. Okay, so the first real clue in their disappearance doesn't pop up for over a week, and it all begins with the discovery of their truck, abandoned, a scene that honestly raised far more questions than it answered. So deep in the wilderness, a hunter just stumbles upon their pickup truck, sitting on a remote dirt road. It was locked, looked like it had been sitting there for days, but it's what was found inside that takes this story down a really, really bizarre path. Just think about what was left behind. Their wallets, phones, even a surprising amount of cash were all still inside the truck. So right away, you know this wasn't a robbery. And get this, their dog was still inside, dehydrated but alive. And maybe most importantly, there were absolutely no signs of a struggle. It looked like they just stepped out for a second, fully planning on coming right back. None of it adds up. I mean, if they weren't robbed and there was no sign of violence, what could have possibly happened? Did they just wander off into the rugged wilderness? And if they did, why on earth would you leave everything, including your dog, behind? It just makes no sense. For 3 long, agonizing years, the case went completely cold. The family was gone, their truck was found, but there was nothing else. The silence was just deafening. Until, that is, a grim discovery changed absolutely everything. Yeah, this timeline really shows you the painful wait for answers. The family disappears in October 2009. Their truck turns up just a few days later, and then just silence. A huge empty gap on the timeline that stretches all the way to November of 2013. Finally, a group of hunters found skeletal remains just a few miles from where the truck was abandoned, and DNA tests confirmed the worst. It was Bobby, Sherilyn, and little Madison. But instead of bringing any closure, this discovery somehow only made the case even more perplexing. The medical examiner was just stumped. The remains were too decomposed to figure out a clear cause of death. There were no bullet holes, no signs of trauma, and no weapons were ever found in the area. The scene offered absolutely zero solid answers about how they died. So, with no hard evidence, investigators and, well, everyone were left to just speculate. And this is where the story fractures into all these different theories, each one more troubling than the last. Let's take a look at the whispers that started to emerge from those woods. On one side, you have the tragic possibility of a mental health crisis. Did the family experience some kind of shared delusion, wander off into the woods, and just succumb to the elements? But then, on the other side, you've got these far more sinister theories. Whispers of involvement with a local cult, or maybe a drug deal gone horribly wrong out there in the remote wilderness. With no real evidence, neither theory can be proven or disproven. But hold on, because there's one last piece of this puzzle. A piece of evidence that is maybe the most haunting of all. And it was found on one of the cell phones they recovered from the truck. So on a cell phone found in the truck was a chilling photo of their daughter Madison. An investigator who looked at the photo along with other footage of the family described their appearance with this really haunting observation. He said they seemed to be in this trance-like state, under some kind of extreme distress. But from what? We can only guess. And that is where the trail ends. The case of the Jamison family remains officially unsolved. Despite all the years of searching and investigating, no one is any closer to knowing what really happened in those mountains. So we're left to ponder the exact same unsettling questions that investigators have been asking for over a decade. Did they just get lost? Were they running from a threat that nobody else could see? Or did they meet someone in those woods who silenced them forever? We may never know.